The All Progressive Congress has wrapped up its campaign activities for the presidential elections. The carnival-like political gathering drew attention of party faithfuls from across the state and beyond the southwest, with musicians and actors serenading the mammoth crowd at the Teslim Balogun Stadium in Surulere. President Muhammadu Buhari led other party heavyweights, including Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, to present APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu to the electorate in Lagos. Tinubu thanked Buhari for the support he has given the party since the beginning of the election season and vowed to work for Nigeria like Buhari has done this past 8 years.
The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, thank you. Thank you in a million times. As you work hard for me, I will work hard for Nigeria.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
As you give Nigeria the hope to renew their faith in their country, I will sustain that hope. I will bring it to you. Those who look helpless today will be helpful in this country.
Ayo, interpret this, because I don't get it. What was said here?
I'll leave you to interpret that.
That
would be up to you to interpret that. I mean, just saying that the APC rally ended on a climax with Lagos State, or their rally in Lagos State, with, they often call him the city boy, has come back home. He went from the airport road, a carnival life, like you mentioned, airport road to Oshodi, Mushin, Ojuelegba, to Teslim Balogun Stadium in Surulere, had quite a good number of people from the party in attendance. But what he had said, as you just watched there, where he was talking about the fact that he was going to build, or he connected his hard work for Nigerians with regards to how the president had worked hard for him. Well, that's up for debate, as we've talked about. I mean, Mr. Festus Keyamo had said earlier this year that the president was going to be very vigorous in his campaign for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the APC's presidential campaign presidential flag bearer, and that he was going to campaign for him in 10 states, Lagos being one of them. As expected, this is one of the strongholds, or what they have said is the strongholds of the APC. This is a state where Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself has served as governor. But I'm going to what he said, and finally as well, the symbolic raising of hands of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu by the president endorsing him formally alongside the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Now, beyond the raising of hands, people had, said the president hasn't really shown a strong commitment or perhaps endorsement of this candidate. That seemed to put paid to, to such whisperings or such comments. However, beyond the show or the display of confidence of the president in the presidential candidate is the body language. It's often said, the maxim is, action speaks louder than words. So even though he said the right things at this campaign in Lagos, which, as you can see, was very colorful, people have still, it would still be important to convince people based on the actions. Oftentimes, the year penultimate to a main election, the incumbent is doing everything to ensure that people remember them for good. Recall 2019 elections. Just before then, the vice president had gone to market women, taking strategic pictures. They introduced trader money. So they were sweetening up the people so that they stand in good favor with Nigerians. However, the opposite is the case in this situation, whereby Nigerians are complaining bitterly about certain policies that have been made or actions towards the end of the tenure. 8 months of strike for students. And don't forget, these are the highest number of people who are going to be voting in this Saturday's elections. We'll also look at the issue of the fuel scarcity, the Naira note redesign, the scarcity of the Naira, when Nigerians are are complaining on the heavy burden of the issues. So beyond him saying that this is our candidate, it is what the people will remember his tenure for and the APC's legacy in the last 8 years to convince them as to whether to reward them with another 4 years or perhaps 8 years. So time will tell, or Saturday we'll know if the city boy will become Garki boy, as Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State had described.
Dr. Bati?
Okay, the stage is set. The countdown has begun. The die is cast. In 3 days' time, Nigerians will go to the polls to elect another president for another term of 4 years, renewable for another 4 years, as President Muhammad Buhari's tenure ends. Now, the various political parties have been doing their last mega rally. We saw that of the Labour Party, which was held here in Lagos. We saw that of the People's Democratic Party, which was held in Yola, Adamawa. So in the last run, we find the major candidates playing to their area of strength. And that is precisely what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu did yesterday, ending with a mega rally in Lagos, in a city where he has lived for the better part of his life, in a state where he was governor for 8 years, in a state where he has been the main political godfather since return to democratic rule in 1999. And so it is to be expected that he will get that kind of crowd, he will have that kind of color, that was put on display yesterday. So because he was in his territory, he was in home territory. So the enthusiasm with which he was hailed from Ikeja, where according to one video, he spent just about more than 2 hours because the crowd blocked the road and they were hailing him all the way to the Teslim Balogun Stadium in Surulere, where the rally now took place. The other major important thing about this is the presence of the president himself. Yesterday was not the first time the president would raise his hand at a rally. That would be probably the 3rd or 4th time. So those who say that the president has not been raising Bola Ahmed Tinubu's hands previously, they probably have not been paying close attention. But again, it was symbolic that he did so again. And you see, as he does at any rally that he had attended, that he attends, he raised the hand of the presidential candidate and the hand of the gubernatorial candidate in Lagos. Now, the president, yes, he was doing his duty as leader of the All Progressives Congress. Last week, when he put out a video, he had said there that he's not running in this election, but he wants Nigerians to support his political party and to support the candidate of his party, the All Progressives Congress. And that is precisely, what happened yesterday here in the territory of Lagos. Well, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, could he have said anything different other than to express gratitude? The president himself had said that he trusts Bola Ahmed Tinubu to build on his achievements. And the presidential candidate of the party echoed that yesterday when he was saying that Buhari has given people hope and he wants to continue to give Nigerians hope. Well, many Nigerians may raise questions about that and say, well, which hope? Is it with fuel scarcity or is it with the scarcity of cash? And of course, what else do you expect him to say? His manifesto is called Renewed Hope. Secondly, there have been some insinuations. There have been some insinuations that money was being distributed yesterday when the convoy, or if you like, the politicians, when they moved from, the motorcade moved from Ikeja towards the Teslim Balogun Stadium. But Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has debunked that he was not spraying money. Some people have said those were posters, those were campaign materials and all of that. I thought it would have been odd to be spraying money to this kind of crowd. There would have been complete chaos. But in any case, the campaign will soon close. And on Saturday, Nigerians will go to the polls to vote. Lagos State is going to be one of those major spots for the election. What is important is, as the security agencies have promised, to provide an enabling environment for people to be able to vote safely, for people to be able to make an informed choice, for Nigerians to be able to decide. After all, the title of the process is called Nigeria Decides. And Nigerians must decide on Saturday. And whatever the outcome is, we expect that all the gladiators that are involved will conduct themselves in a sportsmanly manner and respect the will of the people, which must prevail, which must be supreme.
Right, so a couple of things. Number one, if you want a show for a rally, no other person does it better than Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Give it to him yesterday. He had a sparkling show. From the campaign train, from the dances, from everything. City Boy knows how to put up a show. And give it to the City Boy. He aced it yesterday. Good crowd, good turnout, everything. President Muhammadu Buhari raising his hands up. All the stumps went out there for the City Boy. But let's move one step further. And to second what you said, Dr. Abati, I watched the video over and over again. I didn't see money being shared there. But I also saw a counter video of some of the supporters sharing the money in an envelope that was given them. And that was the old notes. So the politicians and their fixation on these old notes, trying to pass it through, despite what the president has said, is very scary. And politicians should please calm things down regarding inciting people for protest, because there was also a video yesterday caught in outrage of a certain APC chieftain campaigning and saying that, hey, we are not part of what President Muhammadu Buhari has done, that Buhari and Emefiele will soon leave. Statements like that to incite your crowd against the president because something is not going your way should be looked at. Just like what happened in Shagamu, which is very sad. Just like the governors that said, oh, CFOs will be revoked, banks will be damaged. Please, they should remember that there are consequences for the things that has been said. And I just hope that integrity of these people will be intact. The major problem of the APC is the ding-dong affair they have. The fact that it was so difficult for them to campaign with President Muhammadu Buhari's record, and they opted to campaign with Bola Ahmed Tinubu's record in Lagos, which has been challenged, and now they are stuck in the middle. So that's the major problem with them. So this same Bola Ahmed Tinubu that is saying, and that's what I was asking you to interpret, that how hard, Buhari has worked, how Buhari has worked for him and all of that. He will work out hard. The question you should ask me, this is the same Bola Tinubu that came out to say that some people have no brain. That Naira was 200 Naira in 2015, but now it's 800 Naira. But he was pretty much abusing President Muhammadu Buhari. And he's not been able to beat his chest and campaign with the policies. They say something with one mouth, with the other mouth they say something else. And now they seek the endorsement for President Buhari to raise their hands up. So you see, as we go into this election in 3 days, Nigerians, shine your eye. It has shown that there's a big war happening internally in the APC, how they can get their acts together, because half of their governors are already abusing the president and say, don't listen to the president. And there's so much discrepancy. What will matter the most will be the will of Nigeria to take their country in their hands and change their country forever. You have seen the shenanigans of politicians this season. The question I want to ask you is, as you go into this election, Nigerians, so far not they tire you.